we started out with our land explorations, gathering different community members together and exploring some of the zones that Daniel and I thought would be really good to explore. So areas in which had maybe larger populations of growth of plants. So we picked a dog park, and we also chose areas along the river. So we stopped, we considered the land, we acknowledged the land, we asked permission to walk through those spaces. And in that process, I believe that's when you have this heightened sense of receptivity from that land itself. So when a person comes across one of the wooden markers in their community, my hope is that the person will stop, they will be curious. We've got the QR codes on it and also the website to direct them to the specific plant page. On that plant page, there's a little story of introduction of that plant that they've just come across. So, hello, I'm Wild Rose, and a little bit of description about who they are.
So there's 36 signs that are spread out throughout West Hillhurst community at various locations. Some are on public property, so we had to work through a process with the various business units with the City of Calgary to get permissions to attach these signs to existing infrastructure, such as off-leash dog park signs or railing spaces along the Bow River pathway. There's one attached to a giant telephone pole that hosts an osprey nest at the top of it. For me, the act of drawing or sketching anything helps to identify it. Studying it in a way of just looking at it. Tiffany brought up through the process that by simply observing plants, that also is a medicine, and that we don't actually always have to ingest things physically in order to see a benefit of something. And so inviting people to kind of bring sketchbooks is always, I think, part of my process. The artistic outcomes are sort of some painting, some drawing, and some photography, as well as some moving imagery. So there's different ways that people can kind of see the plants through the website or on the markers themselves.
Using a digital medium of being able to photograph them and look at them in different angles and to scroll in or, and see the more up close details after I've maybe spent time with the plant, like in its actual, living place, I can kind of further that study and look at it from that perspective. Sometimes I feel like a plant paparazzi. Like I get really excited and I kind of overdo it and I take tons of photos and different angles, different lights, different seasons, and I have them. Rather than picking them, plants were our first medicine. It's one of the traditions that I learned from my own culture. And it's not just in terms of this ingestion of plants, which is medicinal, or the way that we used it in food. The most common example for people is roses, like bringing roses to a loved one as a gift, or roses to a graveside. We've attached a lot of sentiment and emotion to the plants. So the media aspect through like photography has really helped kind of continue that sense of connection and feeling that you get when you're in that environment.
So if you're walking around in your community of West Hillhurst and you stumble upon a cedar marker with a drawing of a plant on it, you'll notice that there's a QR code on the sign itself. And if you felt inclined to pull out your cell phone, the camera on your cell phone most likely will have a QR code reader already, and you just simply have to focus the camera at the sign and it'll pop up a website, and that website can help you explore the overall project, but that particular marker will introduce you to one specific plant in your community and one plant species.
What's that? Ooh, that's like a little...
Taco.
That's so nice.